After burying the ashes and leaving the old farmhouse, Lily and Luke moved to a small town far away. They rented a small apartment near the city, trying to forget everything that happened. Lily started working at a cafe, and Luke went back to school. For a few weeks, life felt normal again. They laughed, watched movies, and tried not to talk about the farmhouse. Luke looked healthy, and his eyes were bright again. Lily finally began to believe that the nightmare was over. But strange things started happening again, small at first. One night, Lily came home from work and found muddy footprints on the floor. Luke said they weren't his. Another day, their lights flickered for a few seconds, even though the weather was clear. Then one evening, as Lily washed the dishes, she heard something, a whisper so soft, she thought it was her imagination. "Lily." She froze. The sound came from behind her from the hallway. She turned slowly, but no one was there. When she checked Luke's room, he was fast asleep. His window, however, was wide open, and a cold breeze filled the room. On the wall near his bed, written in dark dust, were faint letters that said, "He's still here." Lily dropped the candle she was holding, her heart pounding. She whispered to herself, "No, I buried him. He can't come back." But deep down, she already knew, some things never stay buried. The next morning, Lily tried to forget what she saw. She told herself it was stress, maybe just dust or her imagination. But when she looked again, the writing on the wall was gone, completely clean, as if it had never been there. Luke acted normal at breakfast, talking about school, smiling like before. But Lily noticed something strange. His left hand had a small burn mark, shaped like one of the symbols from the box. "Luke, what happened to your hand?" she asked. He looked at it, confused. "I don't know. Maybe I touched something hot." Lily didn't say anything, but her heart sank. That night, she placed a small cross on her bedside table and kept the diary under her pillow. She didn't want to take chances again. At around midnight, she woke up suddenly. Her room felt freezing cold. She could see her breath in the air. The sound of whispering filled the room, soft, slow, and coming from the corner. She turned on her lamp, but the light flickered weakly. The whispers grew louder. "Lily, you left me behind." She covered her ears and shouted, "Go away." The whisper stopped, but then, the sound of footsteps echoed in the hallway. Bare feet. Slow. Coming closer. Lily opened her door. No one was there. Only the faint sound of the front door creaking open. She ran to Luke's room, but his bed was empty. The window was open again, curtains blowing in the cold air. Then she saw it, muddy footprints leading out into the street. Lily's heart filled with fear. The spirit hadn't just followed her, it had found Luke again. Lily grabbed her jacket and flashlight, running outside into the cold night. The street was empty, silent except for the sound of crickets and the rustling wind. She followed the muddy footprints down the road, her heart racing faster with every step. The prints led her out of the town, toward a small forest near the river. The same kind of forest that surrounded their grandmother's farmhouse. The air grew colder as she went deeper. "Luke," she shouted again and again. But there was no answer, only the sound of distant whispers, echoing between the trees. Then she saw him. Luke was standing in the middle of the path, barefoot, wearing his pajamas, staring up at the trees. His face looked pale, and his eyes were half open like before. "Luke, wake up!" Lily cried, shaking his shoulder. He blinked slowly and whispered, "He says you can't stop him this time." Before Lily could react, the wind picked up violently. The trees swayed, and a dark shadow moved between them, tall, shapeless, glowing faintly red inside the fog. Lily held Luke tightly, backing away, but the shadow followed their every step. It whispered in a deep, broken voice, "You took my box, now I take what's mine." Lily screamed and pulled Luke toward the road. The shadow didn't chase them but watched silently from the trees. When they reached home, Luke fainted at the door. His body was freezing cold, like ice. Lily dragged him to bed, wrapped him in a blanket, and sat beside him, crying. She could see a new mark forming on his arm, another symbol. The curse wasn't gone. It had found its new home inside Luke's soul. The next morning, Luke woke up weak and pale. He didn't remember going outside. When Lily told him what happened, he looked terrified. "I didn't hear or see anything," he said. "I just dreamed of a man calling my name." Lily lifted his sleeve and showed him the strange symbol on his arm. It looked burned into his skin, black and rough. Luke's eyes filled with tears. "Why is this happening again?" he whispered. Lily opened her grandmother's diary once more. She read about a line that said, "If the spirit is disturbed again, it will bind itself to blood until the curse is finished." That meant the spirit was now part of Luke's life force, not just haunting him, but living through him. Lily decided to seek help. She visited the local church and met an old priest named Father Graham. She told him everything: the box, the spirit, the farmhouse, and now the marks. The priest listened carefully, his face growing serious. "Evil never dies easily," he said. "If it was sealed once, it can be sealed again, but you must be careful. Spirits tied by blood cannot be removed by force." He gave her a small silver cross and a bottle of holy water. "Keep these near him," he said. "If the spirit reacts, you'll know how close it is." That night, Lily placed the cross beside Luke's bed. For hours, everything was quiet until suddenly, at midnight, the cross began to rattle by itself. The metal turned black around the edges. Luke started shaking in his sleep, whispering words in a voice that wasn't his. "He's coming," he said slowly. The lights flickered and the air turned icy again. Lily held the cross tightly in her hand, whispering, "Not this time. I'll stop him." Lily didn't sleep that night. She sat beside Luke's bed, holding the silver cross and watching him breathe. His face looked calm again, but the air around him still felt cold and heavy. In the morning, she went back to Father Graham and told him what happened with the cross. The priest looked worried. "If the metal turned black," he said softly, "that means the spirit has already crossed the veil. It's no longer just haunting him, it's feeding from him." Lily's hands trembled. "What can I do?" Father Graham opened an old book filled with faded writings and strange symbols. "You must find the original box," he said. "The spirit is tied to it. Destroying the box may weaken its hold, but if done wrong, it could release it completely." Lily's heart sank. The box was still at the farmhouse, the place she promised never to return to. That night, she told Luke her plan. He shook his head weakly. "No, Lily, please don't go back there." "I have to," she said. "If I don't, it'll kill you." Before leaving, she noticed something strange. Luke's shadow on the wall didn't move like his body. It was slightly delayed, slower, and sometimes smiling. Lily froze for a moment. Then she turned away, grabbed the flashlight, the holy water, and the diary, and left for the farmhouse. The road was dark, covered in fog. Every few steps, she felt like someone was walking behind her. When she turned, no one was there, just silence. Finally, she reached the old farmhouse. The door creaked open by itself. Inside, everything was just as she left it, dusty, cold, and filled with the same uneasy smell. As she stepped in, the whispers began again. "Welcome back, Lily." Lily slowly entered the old farmhouse, her flashlight trembling in her hand. The floorboards creaked under her feet, and the air smelled of damp wood and rot. Dust floated in the cold light as if the house had been waiting for her to return. She whispered softly, "I just need the box, nothing else." The whispers answered, echoing through the empty rooms, "You shouldn't have come back." Her heart raced. She walked past the kitchen, where plates still sat on the table from months ago. Then she reached the living room, the place where she first found the box. The furniture was overturned, and deep scratch marks covered the walls. Her flashlight flickered, then turned off completely. The room went black. Lily took a deep breath and lit a candle she had brought with her. Its weak flame revealed something new, a dark symbol drawn in blood across the floorboards. It was the same symbol that had appeared on Luke's arm. Suddenly, she heard a faint crying sound. It was coming from the basement. "No," she whispered, stepping back. "Not again." But the voice was familiar. It sounded like Luke. "Lily, help me." Tears filled her eyes. She knew Luke was at home. It couldn't be real. But something inside her pushed her forward. She slowly opened the basement door. Cold air rushed out, and the candle nearly went out. The stairs creaked as she stepped down one by one. At the bottom, she saw it, the old wooden box sitting in the corner, half open, glowing faintly red. Beside it stood a dark, human-shaped shadow. It turned its head slowly toward her and whispered, "You can't take it back." The candle went out, and the basement door slammed shut behind her. Lily stood frozen in the darkness of the basement. She couldn't see anything except the faint red glow coming from the box. Her heart pounded so loudly she could barely hear herself breathe. "Who are you?" she whispered. The shadow moved closer, its shape twisting like smoke. "I was never meant to be freed," it said in a deep, broken voice. "Your grandmother trapped me here long ago. But when you opened the box, you broke the seal." Lily stepped back, clutching the bottle of holy water tightly. "I didn't know. I didn't mean to." The shadow laughed quietly, a cold, echoing sound. "Intent doesn't matter. Blood remembers. Now I live in him, your brother." Lily's eyes filled with tears. "Please let him go. Take me instead." The spirit stopped moving. Its voice softened, almost human. "You would trade your life for his?" She nodded, shaking with fear but speaking firmly. "Yes. I just want him safe." For a long moment, there was silence. Then the shadow reached out a long, smoky hand toward her. The air grew heavy, pressing on her chest. "Your offer is pure," it said. "But his soul is already marked. The curse is not mine alone, it is bound by what your family did." Lily opened the diary and shouted, "Tell me how to stop it. Please." The spirit's form began to flicker. "Burn the box where it was first opened, and accept what comes after." Before she could ask more, the shadow vanished into the air, leaving only the glowing box behind. Lily grabbed it with shaking hands. The wood burned her palms, but she didn't let go. She ran up the basement stairs, forcing the door open. The house trembled as she stepped outside. The whispers screamed behind her, angry and loud. But Lily didn't stop. She had made her choice. She was going to end it, even if it cost her everything. Lily ran through the dark forest with the cursed box in her hands. The cold wind cut across her face, and the whispers followed her like angry voices in the trees. "Lily, don't do this," they hissed. But she didn't stop. She knew what she had to do. She reached the small clearing near the river, the same place where she had first opened the box months ago. The air felt thick and heavy, as if the forest itself was watching her. She set the box down on the wet ground, poured holy water over it, and whispered, "This ends tonight." Then she lit a match and dropped it onto the box. The flames burst to life instantly, bright red and orange, lighting up the trees around her. The whispers turned into screams, loud, painful, angry. Lily covered her ears, but didn't move away. The box cracked open and a dark, smoky shape rose into the air. It twisted and screamed, forming faces, her grandmother, Luke, and others she didn't know. She fell to her knees, crying, "Please let him live. Take me instead." The shadow turned toward her one last time. "A promise made in love will never be forgotten." Then the fire exploded in a burst of white light. When Lily opened her eyes, the box was gone, only ashes remained. The forest was silent again. She stood weakly, her body shaking. Her palms were burned, but she felt lighter, as if the air around her was finally free. She ran home through the quiet night, afraid of what she might find. When she reached her house, she opened Luke's bedroom door. He was lying on the bed, breathing peacefully. The marks on his arm were gone. Tears of relief filled her eyes. But as she stepped closer, she saw something chilling. A small red burn mark had appeared on her own wrist, the same shape as the box's symbol. Lily smiled sadly and whispered, "It's over for you, Luke, not for me." Morning sunlight filled the small house for the first time in weeks. Luke was sitting at the table, eating breakfast and smiling again. He looked healthy, alive, and free from fear. Lily watched him quietly from across the room. Her burned wrist ached under her sleeve, but she didn't tell him. She didn't want him to know the curse had passed to her. "Are you okay now?" Luke asked. She smiled gently. "Yes, I'm fine. Everything's back to normal." But deep inside, she felt a strange presence, calm but heavy, like someone watching from inside her shadow. Days passed peacefully. The air in the house felt warm again. Luke laughed, played music, and even slept through the nights. Lily began to hope it was truly over. Then one night, as she was brushing her hair in front of the mirror, she noticed something strange. Her reflection blinked, but she hadn't. She froze. The room grew colder. Behind her reflection, a faint dark figure appeared, whispering softly, "You promised me your life, and I never forget." The mirror cracked slightly. Lily's heart raced, but she didn't scream. She just stared into the broken glass and whispered back, "I know. Just let him live." The reflection smiled, a shadowy, twisted version of her own face, and slowly faded away. The next morning, Luke found the diary and the cross placed neatly on the table, beside a small note written in Lily's handwriting. "The curse is sealed again. Don't open what should stay buried." Lily was gone. No one saw where she went. The neighbors said she left early that morning, walking toward the forest. But on quiet nights, Luke sometimes hears her voice near the window, soft and gentle, whispering his name. "Luke." And when he looks outside, there's no one there, only the faint shadow of his sister under the moonlight. And that was the story of Lily, the brave sister who gave up her life to save her brother from the curse. Some say she still watches over Luke, protecting him from the shadows. Others believe her soul became the new guardian of the box, forever keeping the evil locked away. It teaches us one thing: love can break even the darkest curse, but sometimes at a heavy price. If you liked this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Dark and Deep Tales for more chilling and emotional horror stories every week. And remember, if you ever find something strange buried in the dark, don't touch it.